The drama's male lead, Xiaolu, is dreaming about his favorite actress when his mom comes to wake him up, saying, "Wake up quickly, today is your college entry exam." In the next scene, Xiaolu and his best friend Guang are sitting outside the food factory where both their parents used to work and their friend Qin Huan also works there. Guang says to Xiaolu, "I'm going to propose to Qin Huan today. It's her birthday, and I will be the first one to wish her." Just then, Qin Huan arrives, and Guang gifts her many things. Qin Huan says, "I have no interest in any of this." Xiaolu says to Qin Huan, "Guang wanted to wish you a happy birthday, so why are you behaving so rudely?" So Qin Huan runs and complains to a factory worker, "Guang and Xiaolu are bothering me." The workers catch both of them, and everyone starts fighting. Just then, the drama's female lead, Bai Lan, arrives at the factory. Xiaolu picks up her suitcase and hits a man with it, causing all of Bai Lan's clothes to fall out of the suitcase. Then, everyone is taken to the secretary's office. The secretary arrives there and says, "Xiaolu must have started the fight. He is just like his cousin. The workers here are disciplined." Xiaolu gets angry and says, "I will definitely teach him a lesson." Bai Lan is asked who started the fight first, and Bai Lan takes Xiaolu's name. The police arrest and take Xiaolu away. Xiaolu says to Bai Lan, "You shouldn't have done that. I didn't do anything to you. I'll deal with you later." Bai Lan says, "Yes, absolutely. Now you have to get me a new suitcase." The police officer who is taking Xiaolu away drops him off on the way so he can go and take the exam. Xiaolu quickly reaches the exam hall, but the exam has already started by then, and Xiaolu is not allowed entry. Seeing his friend outside, Xiaolu asks, "What are you doing here? You should be in the exam hall." Guang says, "How could I go to take the exam leaving my friend behind?" Then they both decide that they won't tell their parents about missing the exam and will work in the food factory just like them. In the next scene, Zhang comes to the director's office and asks to get Xiaolu released from the police station. The secretary says, "Your brother started the fight. We have an eyewitness, Bai Lan." Bai Lan says to Jiang, "It was your brother's fault." Hearing this, Jiang starts to choke the secretary and says to Bai Lan, "Call the police station and get Xiaolu out." Bai Lan hits Jiang on the head with something. Jiang's friends take him to Xiaolu and tell Xiaolu, "A lady hit Jiang." Xiaolu thinks, "Which lady did this?" Just then, Jiang regains consciousness. Bai Lan arrives and tells Jiang to go to the hospital, but Jiang doesn't listen to her. Jiang says to Bai Lan, "Play billiards with me. If I lose, I will go to the hospital with you." The game starts between them. Both are playing well. Since Jiang is injured, Xiaolu comes to play in his place. But the lights go out, so they continue the game using a torch. Just then, Xiaolu's mom and dad arrive there and ask Xiaolu, "What are you doing here during your exam time?" Xiaolu runs away from there. Jiang takes Xiaolu on his bike. In the next scene, Xiaolu and Guang get jobs at the food factory. Xiaolu is giving a speech at the food factory, but after the speech, Xiaolu doesn't turn off the mic and starts talking about Bai Lan, which the whole factory, including Bai Lan, hears. Hearing all this, Bai Lan says nothing and goes to see the doctor. Xiaolu and Qin Huan get scared seeing her. Xiaolu's mom yells at him, "The mic is still on." In the next scene, Qin Huan takes Guang and Xiaolu to their workplace. The workers there knew both of their parents, so they treat them well. They are given red masks along with their uniforms. Then they both come to the canteen in their uniforms, and everyone starts laughing at them. At night, Bai Lan is riding her bicycle. Suddenly, a boy in a mask whistles at her and approaches her. But Bai Lan starts to fight with him, so the boy throws his mask and runs away. Bai Lan looks at the mask and sees Xiaolu written on it. The next day, the director calls Xiaolu to the office and asks, "Where were you last night? Your mask was found on the road yesterday." Xiaolu says, "I went to see a movie with Guang last night. Someone must have stolen my mask." Then Bai Lan says, "I am sure it was you in the mask because you wanted to take revenge on me." Xiaolu doesn't agree and takes his mask, saying, "If I prove myself right, Bai Lan will have to apologize." Bai Lan says to the doctor, "I will conduct the physical examination of the workers." All the men ask Bai Lan, "Will you check us by making us undress?" Bai Lan says, "This is my job, and I just have to do the examination." And among all the boys, she first asks Xiaolu to undress. Everyone starts laughing upon seeing Xiaolu's underwear. Bai Lan asks him to take that off too, so Xiaolu gets irritated and runs away. Xiaolu is with Jiang. Jiang tells Xiaolu, "Today, I am going to meet a gang." Xiaolu goes to Qin Huan with Guang and says, "I have to prove Bai Lan wrong." So Qin Huan agrees, and the three of them make a plan. Xiaolu explains, the stalker appears on the street only at 7 p.m. We'll get Qin Huan ready and send her, and when the stalker arrives, we'll catch him. Guang says the stalker might hurt Qin Huan. So they dress Guang up as a girl and send him to the street. But when Guang goes there, the boss is waiting for Zhang with his gang. And Zhang is also waiting for the boss. But the boss, thinking Guang is a girl, starts teasing him. Hearing the sounds, Xiaolu comes there, fights everyone, and rescues Guang. But everyone starts chasing him. When Zhang sees Xiaolu, he and his group start chasing the boss's gang. The next day, Xiaolu thinks, we need a girl who is not only beautiful, but also brave. Just then, a pig enters the canteen, scaring everyone. Suddenly, Ying catches the pig, which makes Xiaolu think, this girl is the best. He tells her his plan and Ying agrees to help. Next, they both take Ying to the street. The girl shouts loudly, challenging the stalker, but no one comes forward. Xiaolu's plan fails because the stalker will never come out with such antics. Xiaolu thinks, now only Bai Lan can help me. So Xiaolu puts a pin in Bai Lan's bicycle tire and follows her the whole way. Bai Lan's bicycle gets a puncture. At the same time, it starts raining, so Xiaolu offers to help Bai Lan. Bai Lan says, you did this on purpose. Fix my bicycle and get it to the dorm. Xiaolu explains, I just want your help in catching the stalker. Bai Lan's clothes get wet and Xiaolu starts staring at her, for which Bai Lan slaps Xiaolu and leaves. The next day, Xiaolu is standing outside the dorm with Bai Lan's bicycle. Seeing this, Bai Lan becomes a little happy. Xiaolu tells Bai Lan, all the workers are busy trying to impress and flirt with you. I will protect you from them, but in return, you have to help me clear my name, that I am not the stalker. A worker comes to Bai Lan and tells her, some people fought among themselves, and one got injured. So Bai Lan quickly goes there to check on them and sees that everyone is fine. They were lying because they all wanted to have a meal with Bai Lan. Bai Lan calms everyone down and tells them, I am not interested in any of them. I have a boyfriend who is a factory worker. Just then, Xiaolu arrives and tells everyone, she is my girlfriend. But no one believes him. So Xiaolu calls Bai Lan darling and kisses her on the forehead. All the workers and Bai Lan are astonished. In the next scene, Bai Lan is angry because of Xiaolu's kiss and says, I will never help you now. Xiaolu explains, those people could have kidnapped or harassed you. That's why I kissed you, to save you from them. Bai Lan keeps blaming him, so Xiaolu says, I thought you were a very beautiful and confident girl, but you are heartless and cruel. Hearing this, Bai Lan gets angry and tries to hit Xiaolu, but he grabs her hands to defend himself, so Bai Lan kicks Xiaolu. Xiaolu says, hey, I didn't do anything wrong. I will not say sorry to you. In the next scene, the imported machine in the mechanical department breaks down. So the head of the mechanical department, Mr. Zhao, starts fixing it. The secretary says, this is a German machine. Only a German mechanic can fix it. They all make a plan and fix the machine at night. In the morning, the German mechanic fixes the machine and explains, a Chinese screw was installed in it. That's why the machine was malfunctioning. That part was installed by Mr. Zhao. The company director understands that this is Mr. Zhao's doing, so he decides to fire the head, so he can tell the German mechanic that they made a mistake. Mr. Zhao says, I made no mistake. Xiaolu comes and says, it's not Mr. Zhao's fault in this. This was my plan. Other employees also come and say, we were also part of the plan. Fire us too. So the director changes his decision. In the next scene, Xiaolu and Guang decide to apologize to the German mechanic in the canteen. But they don't know English, so they send Chen to talk and explain through gestures how to apologize. But instead of apologizing, Chen challenges him, we are better than you and can defeat you too. Hearing this, the mechanic gets angry and grabs Chen. Just then, Bai Lan comes to talk to Xiaolu and says, why are you putting so many people in trouble? Xiaolu says, we are not doing anything wrong. We just want to save Mr. Zhao. In the next scene, Bai Lan goes to the secretary's office on the pretext of giving him an English tape and says to the secretary, I want to read the contract for the German machine because the mechanic told me the contract states if anything happens to the machine, the company will have to pay for its repair. But when she reads the contract, nothing of the sort is written in it. Bai Lan takes the contract and runs away. She quickly goes to the mechanic and understands from the contract that the machine did not break down due to the company's fault, so the mechanic agrees with her. The director reverses his decision to fire Mr. Zhao. Hearing this, they become very happy. Meanwhile, Xiaolu is in Bai Lan's medical room wearing her coat and dancing. As soon as Bai Lan enters, he pretends to be asleep. Bai Lan understands he is acting and says to Xiaolu, you behave like a wild bear. Xiaolu tells Bai Lan, don't call me bear next time, and says, I am very handsome. Bai Lan says, what you did for Mr. Zhao was good. You are not that bad. Then they both look at each other and smile. Qin Huan gives Xiaolu chocolate because she likes him. So Xiaolu gives the chocolate to Bai Lan, which has thank you written on it. Bai Lan accepts it. An announcement is made in the factory. The stalker harassed someone yesterday, so all ladies should not go out at night. Hearing this, Bai Lan goes to the officer and asks about the stalker. What time was he seen yesterday? Upon finding out the time, Bai Lan tells the officer, the stalker is not Xiaolu because Xiaolu was with me when the stalker appeared. Xiaolu did not attack me. He is not like that. In the next scene, Bai Lan is walking alone on the road at night when the stalker attacks her with a stick. But Xiaolu comes and saves her. And Xiaolu gets injured instead of Bai Lan. Bai Lan asks, what are you doing here? Xiaolu runs after the stalker to catch him. The stalker enters a construction building. Then they both are looking for the stalker. Bai Lan is about to catch the stalker by putting pepper spray in his eyes when he pushes Xiaolu down the stairs and runs away, leaving him injured. They both return to the factory. Bai Lan is applying medicine to Xiaolu, and he starts screaming loudly. Bai Lan says, "You are not hurt that badly to be screaming so much." Xiaolu says, "I was just kidding." But when Xiaolu tries to sit, he finds his butt is injured and bleeding. Bai Lan asks him to take off his pants, so Xiaolu says, "Only my future wife can see my butt. If you want to see it, you'll have to marry me." Bai Lan says, "I am a doctor. I have seen many butts. I can't marry everyone now, can I?" Xiaolu starts applying the medicine himself. Bai Lan starts cleaning her hair. Xiaolu is about to go help her. When Bai Lan looks back, Xiaolu says, "I just came to pick up the dust." Bai Lan turns on the fan and her hair starts to fly, which makes her look even more beautiful. Xiaolu keeps staring at her and says, "Do you now believe that I am not the stalker?" Bai Lan says, "I saw the stalker today. He was different from the previous one." Then both of them get confused about who the stalker is. In the next scene, Bai Lan shows a senior doctor a pack of birth control pills placed on the table and tells him that she got this packet from the stalker. The doctor explains, "The record of all tablets is kept by the chairwoman of the factory's medical department, who is Mrs. Liu, and she happens to be Xiaolu's mother." Bai Lan comes to Mrs. Liu's house and asks for the record of birth control tablets. Mrs. Liu explains, "I have kept all those tablets at home because everyone was ashamed to ask for them at the factory. That's why I don't have a record of them." Then Bai Lan leaves. At night, Bai Lan is drunk and standing on the edge of the factory roof. Just then, Xiaolu comes and pulls her back, asking, "Why are you trying to commit suicide?" Bai Lan says, "I am not committing suicide. Who would have a greater desire to live than me?" Xiaolu says, "I know you act very strong, but you have many problems in your life that are troubling you. You can share your problems with me." Hearing this, Bai Lan comes closer to Xiaolu. Xiaolu thinks she is about to kiss him, but Bai Lan is looking at the office building and says to Xiaolu, "I saw a man harassing a lady in the office." Xiaolu says, "You're making up excuses not to kiss me." Bai Lan says, "I don't need any excuse to reject you," and starts to leave. So Xiaolu invites Bai Lan to his brother's skating rink opening and says, "I want to go there with you." Bai Lan says yes and leaves. In the next scene, at the opening ceremony, Xiaolu is waiting for Bai Lan, but Qin Huan comes and asks Xiaolu for a skating competition, but Xiaolu refuses her. Just then, Bai Lan also arrives for the competition, which makes Xiaolu happy. Qin Huan gets jealous seeing this and angrily bumps into the boss, so the boss starts to harass her. Qin Huan clings to Xiaolu. Just then, Guang, who likes Qin Huan, arrives and pushes Xiaolu. The boss and Zhang start fighting and both groups are scaring each other with fireworks. Through the fire, Xiaolu and Bai Lan are enjoying themselves and spending time together. Then Bai Lan takes Xiaolu to the hospital because Xiaolu was injured when Guang pushed him. Here, Xiaolu tells Guang, "I don't like Qin Huan. I am dating someone else." Bai Lan jokingly asks him, "Are you dating me?" because he was fighting with Guang over this matter. Hearing this, Guang understands. Then they both leave. In the next scene, Bai Lan shows Xiaolu a letter. Xiaolu notices a cesium seed stuck to the back of the letter. Xiaolu says, "With this, we can find out who did this." Bai Lan says, "This will take a lot of time." So they both put the birth control tablet packet and the letter on the factory's notice board because the criminal doesn't leave a record. They think he will surely come to get this. Bai Lan is impressed by Xiaolu's idea. During the news shift, many people gather there, and it starts to rain. They are both surprised to see Bai Lan's friend Xu Ying removing those things. Bai Lan asks her, "I didn't do anything wrong to you, so why did you do all this?" Xu Ying says, "I wanted to go abroad to study, and the director was going to give me this position. Despite passing the exam well, you got the position. I did a lot for the director for this position." Bai Lan says, "I didn't take anything from you." The next day, Xiaolu goes to Director Ding's room to fix a scratch on the wall and jokingly says to the director, "This scratch was probably made by a girl's nails." The director gets triggered by Xiaolu's words and gets angry at him. Just then, Xu Ying's voice is heard as she is about to jump from the roof. Xu Ying tells everyone, "The director harassed me and did wrong to me." Many people from the factory gather and tell her not to do it. Bai Lan and Xiaolu reach the roof just in time and tell everyone, "We are eyewitnesses to this matter." Bai Lan says to Xu Ying, "I saw you being harassed in the office. I will testify for you." Saying this, Bai Lan pulls her back. In the next scene, the three of them go to the medical room. The secretary is taking good care of Xu Ying, so Xiaolu jokingly says to the secretary, "I am also injured. Take care of me too." Hearing this, the secretary runs away. Then Xu Ying is admitted to the hospital, and the doctor tells them to keep her in the hospital for a few days. Bai Lan decides to stay with Xu Ying. In the next scene, the factory workers tell Xiaolu, Don't go against the director because the director can also fire him. Xiaolu's mom calls him home and asks him to sign an apology letter. Xiaolu refuses. Mom says, if you are fired from the factory, you won't get a job anywhere, so apologize to the director. Xiaolu doesn't agree and leaves. The director is angry. The secretary says, you are very good. Xu Ying is probably mentally ill. That's why she is making such accusations against you. The director likes this idea and says, if Xu Ying is proven to be mentally ill, I can save myself. The secretary says, I'll get Bai Lan to make a fake medical certificate. In the next scene, Xu Ying apologizes to Bai Lan. Then the secretary meets Bai Lan and tells her, make a medical certificate of Xu Ying's mental illness so we can save the director from being fired from the company. If you don't make the certificate, you will be fired too. Bai Lan understands that they want to save themselves by declaring Xu Ying mentally ill, so she doesn't listen to anything he says. Mr. Zhao tells Xiaolu, I was thinking right about you that you would stand for justice, but you will have to find solid proof against the director. Just then, Mr. Zhao's daughter says to both of them, if I were in Xu Ying's place, I would have stopped the director with a knife. Hearing this, Xiaolu gets an idea and leaves. In the next scene, the director is repeatedly apologizing to his wife. Just then, Xu Ying comes there and threatens the director with a knife, which makes him confess everything. I made a mistake. I should not have harassed you. Seeing all this, Bai Lan and Xiaolu are very happy because this was Xiaolu's idea. Bai Lan and Xu Ying are called to the director's office. The director says, when the case is solved, I will fire Director Ding, and he wants to offer Xu Ying free study abroad. Xu Ying refuses and resigns from the factory so she can forget everything and start a new life. Bai Lan and Xiaolu come to see Xu Ying off. Xiaolu extends a hand of friendship towards Bai Lan, but Bai Lan says, I will think about it, and leaves. Xiaolu says, we both will cooperate smoothly, so don't think too much about it. Then they both smile. In the next scene, a boy comes and tells Xiaolu, the director has shifted Bai Lan to the boiler room because she made a fake mental illness certificate. When Bai Lan goes to the boiler room, Da Kong behaves rudely with her and says to Bai Lan, you have to move this pile of coal inside in 1 hour. Just then, Xiaolu arrives and shouts at Da Kang, how can you torture a girl so much? And scares him away. Seeing Bai Lan's torn gloves, Xiaolu says, you should go back to the medical room. What are you doing here? These people will bully you. Bai Lan asks, are you regretting helping Xu Ying? Xiaolu says no, so Bai Lan says, I am not sad for helping her either, so it doesn't matter to me if I get fired or sent to the boiler room. And do you think anyone can bully me? Hearing this, Xiaolu starts to smile. Xiaolu finds some pieces of cloth in a worker's belongings and starts putting them in Bai Lan's gloves. Just then, another worker gives Xiaolu a special milk tea, which is very tasty. Xiaolu gets an idea and leaves. The next day, Xiaolu comes to Bai Lan with gloves and milk tea, but the secretary is already there, pretending to care for Bai Lan. The secretary says to Bai Lan, I will get you out of here soon, and then gives her an envelope before leaving. Xiaolu gives Bai Lan the milk tea and gloves. Bai Lan thanks Xiaolu. Xiaolu asks Bai Lan, the secretary gave you an envelope. Bai Lan says, why are you so interested in his envelope? Do you think he gave me a love letter? Xiaolu explains to Bai Lan, the secretary is a very strange boy. He starts liking every beautiful girl, so you should stay away from him. When they both open his envelope, it contains a hotel invitation. Seeing this, Xiaolu forbids Bai Lan from going. Bai Lan, to irritate him, says, why should I listen to you? In the next scene, the secretary comes to the hotel room, and Bai Lan is taking a shower. Seeing this, the secretary becomes happy and starts telling her his feelings. I like you very much. I will take care of you. What is your answer? Just then, Xiaolu comes out of the washroom instead of Bai Lan and says, my answer is yes. The secretary is shocked to see him. The secretary says, I am not fighting with you for Jiang. Xiaolu says, you can fight with me even without Jiang. The secretary says, I will definitely take revenge for this. Xiaolu meets Bai Lan and tells her everything, which makes Bai Lan laugh. Then they both go to eat and drink. They go to the factory to vent their anger, but a security guard comes, so they both run away and hide behind a plant. Accidentally, Xiaolu's hand lands on Bai Lan's shoulder, which Bai Lan notices but says nothing and smiles. Xiaolu shows Bai Lan the factory's fountain, where they both enjoy themselves. Now they couldn't go to the dorm, so they go to the secretary's room. Drunk Xiaolu reveals his feelings to Bai Lan. Everyone misunderstands you, but I know you behave rudely because you are lonely. I like you very much. You are very beautiful. Hearing this, Bai Lan kisses Xiaolu and starts to leave, but Xiaolu stops her and starts kissing her again. The next day, Xiaolu wakes up and doesn't remember what happened last night. Then he gets ready and goes to the factory where Bai Lan is smiling at him. Guang asks Xiaolu, why didn't you come to the dorm yesterday? Xiaolu says nothing, so Guang tells him, Qin Huan was kicked out of her house, or we stayed at a guest house yesterday. Xiaolu asks, You two were together, so did anything happen between you? Guang says, I won't do anything like that before confessing. Xiaolu decides, whatever happened between me and Bai Lan last night, I am ready to take responsibility and will confess my feelings. Xiaolu meets Bai Lan to say all this, and Bai Lan says to him, remember what happened last night. Xiaolu doesn't remember anything. Xiaolu reads many books to find out if anything happened between them last night, and also asks Bai Lan, but she doesn't tell him anything and says, you were drunk so you made a mistake. Hearing this, Xiaolu doesn't understand anything. Xiaolu meets Jiang, who advises him, go and confess your feelings to Bai Lan. Then Xiaolu is waiting for Bai Lan outside the factory. He sees Bai Lan getting into a car with the secretary, so he follows their car. They go to a big restaurant. Seeing this, Xiaolu is very hurt, and his dream of proposing to Bai Lan is shattered. Then Xiaolu is waiting for Bai Lan outside her dorm, and as soon as she arrives, he asks, what were you doing with the secretary, and why aren't you taking responsibility for what happened between us that night? Bai Lan says, you are behaving immaturely, and why should I take responsibility for it? Nothing happened between us that night that should prevent me from meeting anyone other than you. Saying this, she leaves. Guang says, the secretary's dad is quite rich, and you are the handsome boy of the factory. Hearing this, Xiaolu becomes happy. In the next scene, Xiaolu is having lunch with his friends when Bai Lan also comes there to eat. Da Kong and his companions also sit with her. Da Kong says to Bai Lan, you must not feel good eating with small workers now that you are with the secretary. Hearing all this, Xiaolu gets angry and starts fighting with Da Kong. Da Kang says to Xiaolu, Bai Lan left you for the secretary, so why are you taking her side? Bai Lan gets up and leaves. Xiaolu comes to her and asks, you could have told me this before, that you were going for a translator's job? Bai Lan says, you could have trusted me too, and why should I share such a small thing with you? Just then, the secretary comes there and tells Bai Lan about the meeting tomorrow and that he will also come to pick her up. Hearing this, Bai Lan goes inside. Xiaolu goes to pick up Bai Lan on his friend's modified bike, and the secretary is also standing there with his car and makes fun of Xiaolu, who will sit on your bike. But when Bai Lan comes out, she goes with Xiaolu on the bike. Xiaolu says to Bai Lan, if the secretary can take you to a good restaurant, I can also take you to a good restaurant when I get my salary bonus. Bai Lan says, you are a worker and you earn money through hard work. You don't need to waste money on all this. We can also eat at a food stall. You can take me to eat fish bowls. Xiaolu says yes. In the next scene, the secretary brings his car for maintenance and calls Xiaolu. Xiaolu comes there to fix his car. Due to the secretary's taunts, a fight breaks out between Xiaolu and the secretary. The secretary says, stop following Bai Lan. If you can fight with me, I can also bring my people there. Xiaolu says, you can bring whoever you want. The secretary meets the director, tells him about Xiaolu, and says, if you help me, I will get your name removed from the Shuying matter. So the director agrees to help. The director goes to Jiang and says, explain to your cousin not to fight, otherwise your skating rink business could also be ruined along with him. After this, Jiang goes to Xiaolu and says to Xiaolu, I will not let my cousin fight alone. You need a team. Bai Lan comes to take the secretary's car back because they had to go pick up a guest immediately. Then Bai Lan says to Xiaolu, why do you have to solve everything by fighting? You can also end a fight by using your brain. I know you are fighting with the secretary to win me over. I am not an object to be won. I went to the director's office of my own free will because I like that job. Why are you doing all this with me? Xiaolu gets into Bai Lan's car. Bai Lan says, the secretary has also prepared for a fight. You can't back down now. Bai Lan starts the car in anger and drives recklessly, then gets Xiaolu out of the car and says, you are very selfish. If you fight, I will never talk to you again. When Bai Lan takes the car to the director, seeing the car's bad condition, fires Bai Lan from the typewriter job. Xiaolu and the workers are talking about the fight. Just then, Qin Huan comes and says that she heard the secretary talking to the police. The workers are going to fight. Xiaolu says, let's change the plan. Qin Huan says to Xiaolu, why don't you stop fighting? Because of you, Bai Lan has been sent to the boiler room again. Xiaolu goes to the boiler room and sees Bai Lan working very hard there. Next, on the day of the fight, Xiaolu and the secretary come with their respective teams. Xiaolu announces, this fight started from a personal issue between me and the secretary, so it will be a one-on-one fight between us. Xiaolu hits the secretary, then the secretary hits Xiaolu. Xiaolu keeps getting beaten. Just then, Bai Lan comes and stops the secretary, but the secretary is about to hit Xiaolu again when Jiang pushes him back. Bai Lan takes Xiaolu to the medical room. In his unconscious state, Xiaolu says, don't bully Bai Lan. Bailan doesn't feel good seeing this. When Xiaolu regains consciousness, Bailan finds out that Xiaolu has injured his ribs, so she takes him to the hospital. The next day, a party is announced at the factory, so everyone starts looking for partners. Xiaolu finds out about this. Just then, Bailan comes and tells Xiaolu, I have been rehired for the translator's job. Hearing this, Xiaolu appreciates her. Bailan says, first you were against me, now you are so happy. Xiaolu says, you can do whatever you like, I will never stop you. Xiaolu is discharged from the hospital and comes home. Xiaolu's mom yells at him and says, I just went out for some work and you got into such a big fight behind my back. Just then, Qin Huan and Ying arrive. Ying brings 2 chickens for Xiaolu so he can eat them and get well. She leaves the chickens in the house, then everyone starts chasing the chickens. She asks mom and dad, which of these 2 girls would be right? In the next scene, the secretary asks his mom about inviting Bailan to the party, and his mom says, first you introduce your girlfriend to me. Xiaolu's mom brings him to a restaurant and tells him, today I have invited the girl you like. Xiaolu understands that his mom has found out. Just then, Qin Huan arrives. Xiaolu's mom says, I found out from Qin Huan's mom that you both studied in the same school, and she also comes to your dorm to meet you. On the other side, the secretary had brought Bailan to the same hotel to meet his mom. Xiaolu tells his mom that Guang likes Qin Huan, and she used to come to the dorm not to meet him, but to meet Guang. Hearing that Xiaolu doesn't like her, Qin Huan gets angry and leaves. Xiaolu's mom tells him to go after Qin Huan to pacify her. When Xiaolu follows Qin Huan, a voice is heard from a room. Xiaolu stops there and starts listening to their conversation. Bailan tells the secretary's mom, I was sent to the boiler room at the factory because I gave a fake certificate at the secretary's request. The secretary's mom says, our family is a very respected family, and how can we invite a girl with such a bad past to our party? Hearing Bailan being insulted, Xiaolu comes inside and says, whatever Bailan did in the past, she did to help others. You have no right to judge Bailan. I know her, and I am her boyfriend. The secretary's mom asks Bailan, is this boy really your boyfriend? Bailan denies it. Then the secretary insults Xiaolu. He is a very rowdy boy and considers every girl in the factory his girlfriend. Hearing this, Bailan says, Xiaolu is not my boyfriend, but he is my best friend. So I am leaving with him, and they both leave. Xiaolu asks Bailan, why did you tell them that you are not my girlfriend? Don't you take that night seriously, when we were drunk and stayed at the secretary's room? Hearing this, Bailan says, nothing happened between us that night except for a kiss, and we were just playing around. Then I left the hotel. Xiaolu meets Guang and tells him everything, and they both start drinking. Guang says to him, Bailan did kiss you. I have been liking Qin Huan for so long, but to this day, I haven't even held her hand. And they both go to the dorm. Qin Huan is waiting for both of them in the dorm and invites Guang to be her partner at the party. Hearing this, Guang is shocked and happily says yes. On the other side, Bailan is thinking about Xiaolu because he had asked her to come to the party. On the day of the party, everyone arrives at the skating rink with their partners. Xiaolu is waiting for Bailan. So Zhang asks Xiaolu, did you ask Bailan to come to the dance? Xiaolu says, I asked once. Zhang says, if you like her, you have to put your ego aside. Xiaolu understands and is about to go call Bailan. Just then, he sees Bailan going in a car with the secretary. Xiaolu goes to the party alone. A foreign guest is coming to the secretary's party, so Bailan is going as a translator for the secretary's dad. Xiaolu finds out that there are prizes in the dance competition, and the third prize is cookies. This reminds him of Bailan, who once told him, I never got cookies in my childhood, and if I fought with other children for them, I would only get broken ones. Xiaolu takes a packet of cookies and goes to find Bailan. Guang proposes to Qin Huan, but Qin Huan refuses him and says, I am very beautiful and will only make a handsome boy my boyfriend. Guang is very hurt by this. In the next scene, the secretary tells Bailan, Xiaolu made a deal with me to get you out of the boiler room and rehire you for the translator's job. I said I would do it, but I had already announced the fight. I couldn't back down like that. So Xiaolu lost the fight, and a girl like you won't go to a small worker like Xiaolu. You will come to me. Hearing this, Bailan hits the secretary in the face with a mirror and leaves. Outside, Xiaolu comes to pick up Bailan. Just then, Bailan also comes out. Bailan asks Xiaolu, couldn't you have defeated the secretary? Xiaolu says, yes, honestly, I couldn't defeat him, and gives Bailan the packet of cookies, asking, will you go to the party with me? Bailan agrees, but by then, everyone has left. so they dance there anyway. Xiaolu promises Bailan, I will never leave you alone. Bailan's parents are no more, so she had never celebrated this festival. So Xiaolu says, from now on, you will celebrate this festival with all of us, and I will be with you on every festival. Hearing this, Bailan smiles. Zhang and his friends are closing the skating rink and leaving. Suddenly, they see a man in a raincoat where the stalker was previously seen. They follow the man, who is following two girls, and catch him. Then when they see his face, they are shocked. The next day, a notice is posted on the notice board that the stalker has been caught. Then the director asks Qin Huan to come with him because the stalker is the director's son, who is mentally ill. Jiang says to Xiaolu, I think the director will get him out of jail by proving him mentally ill. The police are taking the director's son to a mental hospital. The girls he had harassed also come there and start beating him, so he is taken away from there. In the next scene, Bailan is with Xiaolu. Xiaolu asks her, are you not going to do the translator's job? Bailan explains, my task with the director's office is over. Now I will do something new, and for that, I will have to leave the city too. Xiaolu doesn't take her words seriously and takes Bailan to the theater. He sings a song for her and tells her, when I was young, I saved people from a fire. That's why I am a part of this theater. And once I played a prank on a teacher, for which I had to come on stage and apologize. Xiaolu starts reciting a poem, and Bailan also recites the poem with him, and they both enjoy it. Xiaolu asks Bailan, would you like to become a member of this theater? And do you want to watch movies here until you grow old? Hearing this, Bailan becomes sad and leaves without saying anything. On the other side, Guang and Zhang's friends are cleaning the skating rink before closing it. Zhang's friend finds a milkshake bottle there. The three of them pick it up and start drinking, saying, the milk tea Xiaolu made for Bailan was better than this. Hearing this, Guang gets an idea that they too can sell high-quality tea. Director Ding overhears all this from outside. In the next scene, Guang tells Xiaolu and Chen about the tea stall idea and says, we three can open a tea stall outside the skating rink. So Xiaolu agrees to it. Bailan is writing a sorry letter for Xiaolu. Qin Huan comes there and asks her, what are you doing? Bailan hides the letter and goes to the washroom. Qin Huan checks her desk and finds a Shanghai University form. And when Bailan comes back, she asks her, will you come back after completing your graduation? Bailan says no. So Qin Huan gets angry and calls her selfish before leaving. The next day, Bailan goes to give the sorry letter to Xiaolu, but he is not there. So she puts it in his tiffin box. But that tiffin does not belong to Xiaolu, and the letter does not reach him. In the next scene, Xiaolu and Guang set up a milk tea stall outside the skating rink. Guang brings a lot of milk from the factory and says, the director of the food factory gave me this milk for free. They give everyone milk tea to drink. But after drinking it, everyone starts having stomach aches. So Xiaolu calls Bailan. Bailan gives everyone medicine and takes them to the hospital because everyone got food poisoning from the milk. Xiaolu and Bailan are in the medical room. Xiaolu thanks Bailan for her help. Bailan asks, won't you say anything else? Did you get the letter I gave you or not? Xiaolu says, I didn't receive any letter. Bailan says, I don't like you. If you want, you can listen to my heartbeat. Xiaolu starts listening to her heartbeat. They are both looking at each other lovingly, which makes Bailan nervous, and she goes to sit at her desk because she is afraid to tell Xiaolu that she is leaving from here. The secretary tells everyone, whatever happened to all of you, whoever is behind it, we will surely punish them. Guang is worried and says to Xiaolu, this is all my fault, and I will take responsibility for it. Qin Huan tells her uncle, he was doing all this for me, it's not his fault. The uncle says, I know he likes you, so I will talk to him face to face. Guang is in Director Ding's office. Ding says to him, I can save you, but you will have to sign a confession letter that all this was done by Zhang. Guang says, I will not do this, nor will I betray my friends. Ding says, if you go to jail, the factory will fire you for 5 years. Hearing this, Guang gets scared because his family's financial condition is not good, so Guang signs the confession with tears. The police take Jiang's skating rink license. Xiaolu is coming to the factory with Bailan. Bailan is about to tell him that she is leaving from here. Then a senior doctor comes and asks her to do the night shift in his place. Hearing this, Xiaolu asks Bailan, have you ever done a night shift before? Bailan says, this has never happened before. Xiaolu understands that the director wants to take revenge on his son, so that if he does something, Xiaolu cannot get his help. The skating rink is sealed, so the director breaks the lock and goes inside to beat Zhang and his friends. But Xiaolu had already informed them, so they are prepared. Ding calls Zhang from behind, and a fight starts between them. Zhang gets hurt in the leg, so he makes his friends run away and starts running alone. Ding catches him and starts giving him electric shocks. Just then, Xiaolu and Bailan arrive there. Bailan hits Ding on the head with a stick, knocking him unconscious, and seeing Zhang, she says that Zhang has a very deep injury, so it is necessary to take him to the hospital. Xiaolu goes to the medical room to get medicine for Jiang. But by then, Jiang has surrendered himself to the police because Bailan explained to him that it would be better if he went to the police himself. Since he is injured, the punishment would be less. For the next few days, Xiaolu stands sadly outside the skating rink. Ying comes there and says to him, "You shouldn't be sad," and gives Xiaolu the letter that Bailan had written for him. Xiaolu reads the letter, which says, "I love you very much, but I have some dreams for which I am leaving Fuking City." Xiaolu feels very bad about this. The next day, Bailan is waiting for Xiaolu. When Xiaolu comes, Bailan calms him down. Everything will be all right, but Xiaolu is angry with her because Bailan didn't wait and got Jiang arrested. Xiaolu shows Bailan the letter and says, "I know everything now. You took the translator's job so you could be sponsored and leave Fuking City. You never thought about me and kept this a secret from me." Hearing this, Bailan can't explain anything to him, so Xiaolu wishes her all the best, throws the letter, and leaves. In the next scene, Bailan is in her room, giving Qinhuan a book of jokes and says, "Xiaolu has been sad for many days, so read jokes from this and tell him so he can be happy." So Qinhuan agrees to her. The next day, Qinhuan brings food to Xiaolu's house, and Ying has also brought food. Seeing this, Xiaolu gets confused about whose food to eat. Then, everyone asks him to come to the factory because he had been staying at home after Zhang went to jail. Xiaolu says, "I will be back soon." Xiaolu goes to the hospital to meet the girl whom Zhang had hit on the head in the fight. Just then, Bailan arrives, who is taking care of that girl. Bailan says to Xiaolu, "Your cousin Zhang is very good. He asked me to take care of this girl." Just then, the police arrive and arrest both of them. Director Ding has made allegations against both of them that on the day Zhang attacked him, one of them had hit him on the head with a stick. The police are investigating both of them, and both are taking the blame on themselves and trying to save each other. The police don't understand who is telling the truth. Just then, Director B arrives and gets Bailan out of the police station and takes her to lunch with him. They indirectly offer her marriage and say, "If you do this, I will sponsor you for Shanghai University, and your friend won't have to go to jail, and I will get the case dropped." Bailan accepts the offer. Xiaolu comes out and his friends are celebrating. Xiaolu says, "I don't know how the police let us go." Just then, Bailan arrives and everyone says, Bailan must have done something with her mind. To this, Bailan says, "I was the one who hit Ding on the head," and explains, "I have come to say goodbye to all of you," which makes everyone feel very bad. In the next scene, it is announced that Zhang has been jailed for 5 years and Xiaolu has been sent to the warehouse due to being absent for too many days. Xiaolu goes to work at the warehouse and Guang also comes to work with him and says, "I will also work with you." When Bailan goes to her room, Ying is throwing her belongings out and says, "You used Xiaolu and took the sponsorship yourself. You are a deceitful girl." Bailan says nothing to them. Qinhuan takes Bailan and leaves from there. Ying is also throwing her books, which Xiaolu sees, and he goes after Bailan. Bailan has no home, so Xiaolu takes her to a boat and explains, "This belongs to Jiang. You can stay here as long as you want. No one will bother you." They both drink and enjoy themselves. Bailan asks Xiaolu, "Are you not angry with me?" Xiaolu says, "I will accept your every wish, because I cannot stop the person I like from fulfilling their dreams, nor can I stop them from leaving the city. In the police station, I took all the allegations on myself because I trusted that you would do the same and would not betray me." At Bailan's request, he asks her, "Do you like me?" Bailan says, "I like you," and kisses Xiaolu, which makes him nervous. Bailan leaves a note in Director B's office and asks to meet in the park. The director comes to the park and Bailan says to him, "You are already married. How can I marry you?" The director says, "I am going to divorce my wife soon." Hearing this, Bailan calls the secretary and explains, "I sent a note to the secretary so he could see his dad's true colors," and starts to leave. The secretary slaps Bailan. Just then, Xiaolu comes and punches the secretary for this act and is about to hit the director too, but Bailan stops him and takes him away from there. Director Ding is exposing everyone's mistakes in a speech. Mr. Zhao says, "You are exposing everyone's mistakes. You should expose your own mistake too." Just then, Xiaolu comes there and says, "I have made many mistakes. I don't feel guilty about it because I have always stood for the truth," and punches the director in front of everyone. Seeing this, everyone becomes happy. Then some workers come on stage and start confessing their mistakes and enjoy a lot. Xiaolu sees Bailan going out and follows her. He says to Bailan, "Even if no one is supporting you, I and my friends are with you." Bailan says, "Even if I have everyone with me, we won't be able to get free from people like the director." Bailan asks Xiaolu, "Will you leave Fuking and come with me?" Xiaolu can't say anything. Bailan tells him, "Whatever your decision is, whether you come with me or not, I will always remember you and will be happy remembering every moment spent with you." New Year's night arrives, and Xiaolu is having dinner with his mom and dad. His mom is advising him, "Work hard in the factory and focus so that your salary increases." Xiaolu says, "I want to go out of Fuking and take my exam." so I can build a good future for myself. Mom refuses. You will not leave Fuking. Hearing this, Xiaolu leaves and goes to meet Bailan. He tells Bailan, I thought I would spend my whole life enjoying it in Fuking, but after meeting you, I realized that I can do a lot in life. I want you to always support me. Even though you didn't come to this city for me, I am leaving this city for you so I can build a bright future with you. Hearing this, Bailan hugs him, and they both enjoy watching the New Year fireworks and kiss. Then Xiaolu and his friends go to the beach to celebrate the New Year. There, Xiaolu tells everyone, I am going to Shanghai with Bailan to study. They are not happy to hear this. Xiaolu tries to convince his mom, and his dad gets an idea. Dad convinces mom. In the next scene, Xiaolu comes to pick up Bailan. He gives her some books to read and says, from now on, we will both ride Jiang's bike. Then Bailan goes to study. In the next scene, Xiaolu's friends request him, we want to start the milk tea stall. Xiaolu agrees and, along with preparing for his entrance test, also helps them run their tea stall. Due to the preparation for the grand opening of the tea stall, Xiaolu is missing classes, which Bailan notices. But Chen has to hide this, so he lies to Bailan. Xiaolu's mom is not well. When Bailan goes to meet his mom, Chen tells Xiaolu this. Bailan is coming to your house. Xiaolu reaches home before Bailan and locks his mom in the room. When Bailan comes home, Xiaolu says, Mom has gone to the factory. Just then, Mom comes out of the room, and Bailan gets angry and starts to leave. Then Xiaolu tells her, I was just helping my friends. Xiaolu meets Bailan. Bailan's other friends are also there. Bailan tells them, he is my boyfriend, and they all go to a restaurant to eat. Xiaolu places a strange order, and everyone starts laughing at him. Xiaolu feels uncomfortable, so he makes an excuse of important work and leaves. Bailan also comes out with him and says to Xiaolu, this is the first time I have come to such a restaurant. Let's go eat fish bowls. Bailan says to Xiaolu, if you want, you can stay with your family. Xiaolu says, I want to go with you and now I will work hard. Just then, Chen comes there and says, Guang is in trouble. So Xiaolu goes to a bar with Chen, where Mrs. Tao comes. She says to Xiaolu, I know your cousin Zhang. Guang was selling milk tea outside my club, so we caught him. We will free him only when Zhang comes forward. Xiaolu says, Zhang is in jail and will be back after 5 years. Tao says, all right, then I will release Guang after 5 years. Xiaolu goes to jail to meet Zhang, and Zhang tells him about his metal box and says, after giving that box to Tao, she will release Guang. Xiaolu takes the box to Tao, and she opens the box, which contains a scarf. Tao says to Xiaolu, if you drink all this, I will let Guang set up a milk tea stall in my club. Xiaolu starts drinking. Then Xiaolu goes to Bailan drunk and says, take me with you. So Bailan pretends to row a boat. Xiaolu kisses Bailan. The next day, Bailan makes breakfast, but the breakfast doesn't turn out well. So Xiaolu says, when we go to Shanghai, I will make breakfast, and they start planning a lot. Xiaolu tells Bailan, when Zhang got arrested, I didn't know what to do, but you supported me and told me what I should do in life. In the next scene, Xiaolu finishes his work at the warehouse because he had to prepare for the test. Xiaolu is having lunch with his parents when his mom tells him there is only one spot in his factory to go to Shanghai this time. Xiaolu says, how can that be? And goes to meet the secretary. The secretary tells him, this all happened because of you. It's impossible for you people to leave this factory. Xiaolu sadly goes to the seaside. The next day, Xiaolu goes to Bailan and asks, if you are not selected, will you wait for me next year and be able to live in Shanghai without me? Bailan says, I will definitely be selected. Bailan is about to leave for Shanghai, so Xiaolu comes to see her off at the boat and kisses her. Then Bailan goes to take the exam. The next month, Bailan checks the scoreboard and her name is at the top, but she doesn't see Xiaolu's name anywhere. Bailan asks Xiaolu, why didn't you take the exam? Xiaolu makes an excuse. I was very drunk on the day of the exam, so I forgot to write my name on the paper and I don't remember anything. But in reality, Xiaolu takes the exam well, but doesn't write his name because if he passed, the factory would send him instead of Bailan. Bailan gets angry with Xiaolu and leaves. The next day, Bailan packs her things, meets Qinhuan, and leaves the factory. Xiaolu and Guang drink together. Drunk, Guang tells Xiaolu, well, I gave a fake confession at Ding's request and sent Jiang to jail. Hearing this, Xiaolu gets angry and beats Guang a lot because they considered Guang like a brother, and he betrayed them. A huge blast occurs in Fuking City. It was an explosion in the factory's boiler room due to an earthquake, which caused everyone to come out of their homes. Xiaolu takes his cycle and goes to see Bailan, who was on the boat and very drunk. Xiaolu says, aren't you afraid of dying? Bailan says no, so they start kissing. Bailan apologizes to him. I disturbed you by coming into your life while you have a different world. We have to separate and go back to our own worlds. Then they kiss and start remembering the moments they spent together. The next day, Xiaolu wakes up and Bailan has left for Shanghai. He quickly goes to the boat, but Bailan has already boarded. At Xiaolu's request, the captain plays Bailan's favorite song. In Shanghai, Bailan meets a professor, who tells her that her personal file has not yet arrived at the university. So Bai Lan calls Qin Huan and asks about the file, and Qin Huan says, "Your file should have gone a month ago. Mr. Ding handles this work." Xiaolu overhears this and goes to Ding's office to look for the file. Mr. Ding also comes there. After a lot of searching, Xiaolu still can't find the file. Outside, Xiaolu meets the secretary who says, "If you want the file, come to the restaurant in the evening." Xiaolu meets the secretary who gives him Bai Lan's file. Xiaolu asks why he is helping, and he explains, "This file was held back by Mr. Bai. I have obeyed my dad and everything, but he cheated on me and my mom." Then Xiaolu leaves. The next day, Bai Lan is waiting for someone outside the university gate. Just then, a lady comes, and Bai Lan asks her for some time because her file has not arrived yet. The lady says, "We cannot break our rules." Then the lady comes back and says that a boy just delivered your file. Hearing this, Bai Lan understands that it must be Xiaolu, but Xiaolu is hiding and running from her. But Bai Lan stops him and says, "You came all this way to give me the file, I can at least give you a treat." Bai Lan takes Xiaolu to her room and asks him to get her suitcase down. The landlady comes there hearing the sound of the suitcase falling. Xiaolu hides in the washroom. The lady says, "A boy has come to your room." So Xiaolu comes out and pretends to be sick. Bai Lan tells her, "He is my younger brother who has come for treatment." So the landlady runs away, hearing about the illness. Then they both go out for a walk. Bai Lan asks Xiaolu to stay for a few days. Just then, an uncle asks Xiaolu to click their photo. Then when he clicks their photo, the uncle asks them to have their photo clicked and says, "I will develop these photos to you all later." Bai Lan says, "After the photos come, I will send these photos to you too, so you can remember the memories of Shanghai." Xiaolu says, "I want to stay for a few days." Hearing this, Bai Lan becomes happy. The next day, Xiaolu helps Bai Lan with her luggage. Her friend asks, "Is he your boyfriend?" Bai Lan says yes, but Xiaolu denies it because he thinks Bai Lan's image will be tarnished because of him. Then Xiaolu calls his home. His mom yells at him, "When will you come back?" Xiaolu says, "I want to stay in Shanghai and find a job here and take the exam because I don't want to work in the factory." Xiaolu interviews at many companies, but no one gives him a job without a certificate, which makes him worried. Bai Lan talks to Qin Huan, and Qin Huan tells her, now that Xiaolu is there, the misunderstanding between you two must be over. Bai Lan doesn't know anything, so Qin Huan tells her everything. When Bai Lan comes home, she says to Xiaolu, "Qin Huan has told me everything, that you sacrificed your exam for me." So Bai Lan hugs Xiaolu and says, "Don't hide anything from me from now on. We will solve our problems by sharing them with each other." Xiaolu tells her, "I am scared because I feel I won't be able to survive here." Bai Lan assures him, that won't happen. We will figure something out." In the next scene, Xiaolu gets a job as a doorman in a hotel. On the other hand, Bai Lan is modeling for a fashion store. Her photographer tells her, "In the next project, you will have to wear slightly shorter clothes." She would get good money for it, but Bai Lan refuses to do it, so he gives her time to think. In the next scene, when Bai Lan comes home at night, her landlord tells her, "I know Xiaolu is not your brother but your boyfriend." Hearing this, Bai Lan apologizes for lying, and the landlord explains to her, "I can't keep him here for many days, so you will have to pay me extra for this." Xiaolu also overhears this. The next day, Bai Lan agrees to do that project. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Xiaolu sees a poster of Bai Lan in a short dress and feels very bad. Then at night, Xiaolu is angry with Bai Lan. He tells her, "If I had known that you do this kind of work, I would not have let you go there." Hearing this, Bai Lan remains silent. The next day, Xiaolu's colleague sells him a camera at a very low price, telling him, "I won it in a game." So Xiaolu buys the camera with his first salary because it was Bai Lan's birthday today, and he wanted to gift her a camera so she could learn to click photos. In the next scene, Bai Lan waits for Xiaolu outside the same restaurant where they wanted to celebrate her birthday. But when Xiaolu arrives, Bai Lan changes her plan. Then they eat noodles together at home, where Xiaolu gives her the camera. She is very happy to see it, and Xiaolu tells her his plan. "From now on, I will also make it a practice to photograph people so you don't have to work and I can earn more money." Then they also click a photo of themselves together. The next day, Xiaolu is working at the hotel. Suddenly, the manager and the police say to Xiaolu, "A guest's camera was stolen yesterday." Hearing this, Xiaolu is shocked because he had bought that camera from his partner. He tells them the truth, but as soon as they call the other boy, they find out that he has quit his job and run away. So now the blame for the theft falls on Xiaolu, due to which he is fired from the hotel. When Bai Lan finds out, she requests Mr. Huang to withdraw his case. But Huang refuses to help her in any way, so Bai Lan makes him an offer. I will do a photo shoot for your advertisement for free, and I will also take the blame for the theft on myself. In exchange for all this, you have to release Xiaolu. Hearing this, they agree, and now Xiaolu comes home. Bailan had taken all the blame on herself, so he is angry with her. Bailan says she doesn't want Xiaolu to work as a doorman. At this, Xiaolu understands that Bailan feels embarrassed about his job, so he says nothing. The next day, action is taken against Bailan at the university because she had broken the rules. Then she arrives home, but Xiaolu is not there. She just finds a note from him, in which it was written, "I don't want to create more problems for Bailan anymore. I came to make her life better, but I have made her life messed up like mine, so now I am leaving her forever." Reading this note, Bailan starts to cry, after which Xiaolu had arrived in Fuking City. Everyone was looking for him because his mom was sick, and they needed Xiaolu. He then meets Qinhuan and Guang at the skating rink, where he was drinking. Guang tells him, "Your mom is admitted to the hospital." Hearing this, he leaves to meet his mom. On the other hand, the doctor tells Xiaolu's dad that Xiaolu's mom has pancreatic cancer. She could be saved with surgery, but for that, they needed a lot of money. So Xiaolu's dad says, "I will talk to the factory about insurance and will definitely collect the money." Then Xiaolu arrives, and his mom is very happy to see him. She tells Xiaolu, "I will not have my surgery because we don't have that much money, and the factory will not cover my medical expenses." Then Xiaolu says to his dad, "We will collect the money and get mom's surgery done." When they go home, they find some money from their home savings, and Xiaolu's dad was going to arrange the rest of the money. Dad says to Xiaolu, "You don't have to worry. Your mom will be perfectly fine after the surgery." In the next scene, Xiaolu is inside the skating rink. He gets sad seeing Bailan's poster. When he comes home, Guang is waiting for him. He says to Xiaolu, "I have come to make you a partner in my business." But Xiaolu refuses. So Guang tells him, "Now you should forget Bailan and move on." In the next scene, Xiaolu goes to meet Guang and asks him for money for his mom's operation. Guang says, "I will definitely help you. If you want, you can also join my business." But Xiaolu refuses and takes the money to the hospital. Guang is drinking a lot, so Qinhuan asks him, "Where did you get so much money?" Because she knew that Guang didn't have enough money to give to Xiaolu. What Guang tells her is that Ding had forced him to do this, and the money that was actually from the factory's insurance and could have been used for Xiaolu's mom, Ding had invested for his own profit. For many years, he had been tampering with the factory's account books and using the money for himself. On the other hand, dangerous people come to collect money from Guang. Just then, Xiaolu comes on his bike to fight with them. They both fight these people a lot and chase them away, and they themselves get quite injured. On the other hand, Bailan decides to leave Shanghai, but she tries to find a translator job one last time, for which she meets the ship manager. The manager refuses to give her the translator's job, saying, "All the workers on the ship are male, and it wouldn't be appropriate for you to work there." Just then, the manager doesn't understand a line. So Bailan explains it to her, which makes her very happy, and she gives Bailan a chance. She says, "I will keep you on a 10-day trial, and if you perform well, you will get a permanent job." In the next scene, Xiaolu's mom has been discharged and has come home. She climbs on a stool to find a photo and tries to take down a suitcase, which had many of Xiaolu's certificates, but she suddenly falls down. At that moment, Xiaolu comes and picks her up, so she makes an excuse. "I have become weak because I was lying in the hospital bed for so many days." On the other hand, Bailan tells the manager in a meeting that they can ask for help from the Hong Kong ship agency for food delivery. The manager likes this idea and gives Bailan this task. If she does the work well, her job will become permanent. The next day, Bailan requests help from the Hong Kong agency for her ship agency, but then she is called to the manager's office because the manager had found out that Bailan was expelled from the university on charges of theft. Seeing this, the manager tells her, "I liked you very much, but I cannot keep someone in my agency who has a bad past." So Bailan is fired. Bailan gets very frustrated by all this and starts crying because now she had no other way out. In the next scene, Xiaolu's mom's health deteriorates significantly. He was calling the factory to send a car, but Director Ding tells the security department, "Don't send the car," and keeps the car keys himself. Because of this, there is a delay in taking Xiaolu's mom to the hospital, and by the time they reach the hospital with his mom, she has passed away, which makes Xiaolu and his dad very sad. Just then, Guang sees Ding while coming to the hospital with Qinhuan, who had the factory car. He understands that he did this intentionally, so the next day he files a complaint against him at the police station for using the factory's health insurance money and tampering with the accounts, due to which the police arrest him and take him away. After which, Guang goes to Xiaolu's house. It was his mom's funeral, so he hugs Xiaolu. Next, we see a few years later that Xiaolu had become a big businessman. He had come to Shanghai to make a business deal with someone when he sees Bailan inside the elevator. He goes after her to stop her, but in reality, that girl was someone else. Then he goes to Qinhuan's house to give her shoes. Suddenly, his eyes fall on Bailan, whom Qinhuan had invited for her wedding, and she smiles at Xiaolu, but Xiaolu gets very nervous and goes outside. Outside, he asks Guang why he didn't tell him before that Bai Lan was also coming, because Xiaolu didn't want to go in front of her like that. So Guang tells him, "What difference does it make to you now how Bai Lan sees you?" The next day, Guang and Qin Huan get married. While going towards the wedding hall, Guang tells Xiaolu to sit in the back car because Bai Lan was going to sit in it. But as soon as Xiaolu looks inside that car, Bai Lan is not there. Then at Guang's house, Xiaolu asks Qin Huan about Bai Lan. She tells him, "Bai Lan is going to Shanghai today, so if you want to meet her, you have to go quickly." Hearing this, Xiaolu leaves in his car. As soon as he reaches there, Bai Lan is not there, which makes him think that maybe he is late. But then, Bai Lan comes from behind and tells him the boat's timing has been slightly delayed. Then Xiaolu tells Bai Lan about his mom's death. Then, as the boat arrives, she starts to leave. Xiaolu apologizes to her one last time. He says, "I should have stayed with you at that time instead of leaving you alone, but I left without telling you, for which I have felt regret for 5 years." Bai Lan just tells him, "It was your past mistake, which I have forgotten and have now moved on. So now you should also move on." Hearing this, Xiaolu becomes very emotional. Then back, Bai Lan is with Mr. Huang. And from their conversation, we learn that Bai Lan has been working as Mr. Huang's assistant for 5 years and is sure that this time she will become the general manager. Then in the next scene, we see that Bai Lan is not selected for the general manager position this time either. So she asks Mr. Huang why he didn't select her this time. Huang tells her that he wants to make Bai Lan his assistant for now and give her this project because no one else can handle that project except her. So Bai Lan agrees for the improvement of the food factory. In the next scene, Bai Lan arrives in Fuqing and gets an office in the factory. Qin Huan comes there to meet her. She was very happy. Bai Lan now tells her her plan. "I have come here to modernize the factory, for which I want to completely empty the factory." So Bai Lan goes to Xiaolu and tells him about her proposal, to which Xiaolu says, "I cannot empty the cold storage because the location of that cold storage was the best for us." But Bai Lan doesn't listen to him. She tells him that she is ready to give him compensation. So Xiaolu says to Bai Lan in anger, "You know very well that I will never bow down for money." Bai Lan warns him that he has 1 week to decide. In the next scene, Bai Lan thinks about Mr. Huang's words. She thinks, "Well, it will be very difficult for me to modernize a factory again." So Bai Lan tells Huang, "If I complete this project, you will free me because I no longer want to be your assistant." Mr. Huang agrees, but he also had a condition. "If you are not successful in this project, you will have to remain my assistant for the next 10 years. On the other hand, Xiaolu and Guang are both working on powdered milk. Xiaolu calculates whether it would be possible to build a new cold storage, but they didn't have enough money. Guang explains to him here, "We have the largest cold storage in the factory, so whatever happens, we will not empty that cold storage." Then when Bai Lan comes to the boat to talk to Xiaolu, she sees that Xiaolu has still kept all her belongings safe. Xiaolu tells her, "I can never throw away your memories." Bai Lan replies, "You should forget everything now." Then Bai Lan gets a call from Mr. Huang. Xiaolu thinks that maybe he is Bai Lan's boyfriend, so he leaves. The next day, Huang arrives in Fuqing. He refuses to pick up Bai Lan. In the next scene, Mr. Huang is having dinner with Director B in the hall. Bai Lan becomes uncomfortable seeing Director B. Director B forces Bai Lan to drink with him. Huang also understands that Bai Lan is not comfortable, so he himself tries to toast with the director. But Bai Lan challenges Director B to drink the whole bottle. Then, due to drinking too much, she goes to the washroom and vomits. Just then, Xiaolu also comes there and asks her to go with him. But Bai Lan does not go with him. Then Huang comes and supports Bai Lan. Then Bai Lan introduces Xiaolu in front of Huang as her old friend. Then Bai Lan, in a drunk state, tries to go towards the hotel room. Xiaolu is waiting for her there. He supports Bai Lan and takes her to the hotel room, where Xiaolu also finds out that Bai Lan learned to drink so much because in Shanghai she had to drink forcefully for projects. The past years she spent were very difficult. While talking about all this, she tells him, "Now, after doing this project, I want to open my own company to prove that I am happy without him and can live my life comfortably because now I am tired of working for others." Xiaolu understands that the food factory project is very important for Bai Lan. Then Xiaolu decides to close the cold storage and sends its keys to Bai Lan. After this, Bai Lan and Huang watch the cold storage being emptied from a distance. Xiaolu makes it clear to everyone that they will work harder and buy the cold storage back. Xiaolu did this because he wanted to apologize to Bai Lan. After this, Huang is informed by Bai Lan on the phone that they will not have to face any more problems, as she has also handled the workers, and now they will return to work. Then Huang comes to meet Bai Lan and tells her, "Mr. Manny's son has arrived in Fuqing to deal with the food factory." Hearing this, Bai Lan becomes very happy. Then he tells her that since he came to Fuqing, he hasn't explored at all, so can she show him around? to which she agrees and takes him to the theater. Huang also gets angry seeing the name written on that seat because Xiao Lu was interfering between them. He was afraid that Bai Lan might go back to him. So the next day, we see that Huang tells Bai Lan, Mr. Manny has canceled the deal with us. But in reality, he had done all this intentionally because he no longer wanted to keep Bai Lan in Fuqing. So he tells her, I will send you on vacation to Hong Kong. Bai Lan refuses and speaks to him a bit rudely. He says, you cannot talk to me like that because I am your boss. Then he gives her only 5 days' time and says, if you can't do anything, I will keep you as my assistant for the next 10 years. Then Bai Lan is standing on the factory roof. Xiao Lu comes and asks her, are you going to commit suicide again? Bai Lan tells him, I had a very bad dream, so I am worried. Then Xiao Lu tells Bai Lan, I will merge my company's shares with the food factory so that we can meet Mr. Manny's demands, and the food factory can get help with expenses. But Bai Lan refuses because she did not know if their deal would be successful or not, so she did not want Xiao Lu to sacrifice his company for them. But Xiao Lu tells her, I trust you, and am sure that we will definitely succeed in our deal, which Bai Lan also agrees to. Meanwhile, Guang gets angry with Xiao Lu about that matter. The next day, Xiao Lu takes all the documents and discusses the deal with Bai Lan. Just then, Huang arrives. When he finds out that Xiao Lu is going to help Bai Lan, he feels very jealous. He directly calls Manny's son from here and invites him to dinner to stop Manny's son from making a deal with Bai Lan. But when Bai Lan and Xiao Lu also go to the hotel to meet Manny, he had already checked out and left. On the other hand, Huang is in a meeting with someone. From their conversation, we learn that Huang never really wanted to modernize the food factory. His plan was only to buy the food factory's land cheaply and build a plaza there, about which he talks to that man and says, I have to buy the food factory's shares somehow so that I can buy the whole land. He then thinks, I have to control Bai Lan because if she wins, the food factory's land along with all the profit will slip through their hands. So he sets his driver to follow Bai Lan, after which Bai Lan and Xiao Lu try to find other business deals besides Mr. Manny. But they don't get any deal, and in doing so, it becomes morning from night. So now they both go to a restaurant to have breakfast together where Bai Lan is praising the food because she always used to eat there. Xiao Lu says, when you go to Shanghai, I will get many dishes packed for you. But Bai Lan tells him, now I want to stay here. Just then, the restaurant owner also comes, to whom Bai Lan asks if he remembers them. The uncle here tells them he remembers everything, that once in front of everyone, Xiao Lu had called her his girlfriend at 8 o'clock and kissed her on her forehead, remembering which they both start to smile. Xiao Lu tells her that on that night, when he went to get yogurt for Bai Lan, he saw Mr. Huang coming back outside her room, and he is very happy for her. You now have someone to care for you. But Bai Lan starts laughing hearing this. She tells him about that night. On that day, when Huang was knocking on my room door, I thought that you had come back, so I opened the door. But when I saw that it was Huang at the door, I closed the door again. Hearing this, Xiao Lu's misunderstanding is clear that they are not together, but she only sees him as a boss. Now Xiao Lu comes to pick her up outside. When Bai Lan tells him that she has to change her hotel because she no longer wants to stay in the hotel where she keeps meeting Huang, Xiao Lu says, I will come to pick you up tomorrow. Then he asks Bai Lan, will you always work with me like this and will you leave all this and go somewhere? Bai Lan says, I will not go anywhere, which makes Xiao Lu very happy. Just then, Bai Lan gets a call from Mr. Man. When she starts talking to him, she can't see behind her that someone has attacked Xiao Lu. Mr. Huang's men beat Xiao Lu a lot and tell him to stay away from Bai Lan. Then they leave him alone and go away. The next day, Bai Lan was waiting for Xiao Lu, but Xiao Lu doesn't come to pick her up, so she goes out of the hotel herself, where Huang tries to stop her. He says, I have not fired you yet. I am your boss, so you cannot go anywhere else without telling me. Bai Lan tells him, last night I got a call from Mrs. Manny, so I found out from her that Mr. Man did not actually cancel the deal, but you did because you wanted to buy the food factory instead of modernizing it to build your commercial plaza. Bai Lan now also gives him the company car keys. She says, Mr. Huang is not firing me, but I am firing him, and now I will not change my decision. Saying this, she leaves. Then she comes out and calls Xiao Lu. She finds out about Yao Lu, so she goes straight to the boat to meet him, where Jiang is giving Xiao Lu first aid. Xiao Lu tells her, Mr. Huang did this to me. In the next scene, Jiang goes to the boss of the gangsters who had beaten Xiao Lu. He puts a knife to a man's neck, which scares them. Jiang warns them, I am trying to be a good person, but if you or anyone else tries to bother my cousin Xiao Lu, I will not spare anyone. Hearing this, the boss has to apologize unwillingly, and he promises, I will not bother Xiao Lu now. He says, I had just done all this at someone's behest. I was paid for it. On the other side, Xiao Lu and Bai Lan are sitting together. Bai Lan tells him that she came here hoping that Huang would help her get the food factory running again, and Bai Lan also trusted him because she had been working with him for so many years. But Huang has betrayed the factory people and he has also attacked Xiao Lu, meaning he could do anything further. and I should not have come here trusting him. Hearing this, Xiaolu puts his hand on her shoulder to comfort her and says, "We will fix everything together." The next day, Xiaolu calls all his partners to the milk factory because he wanted to announce the new product launched by the food factory in front of them and asks for their help in marketing. Actually, that product was his milk tea powder, which was specially made by Xiaolu with his own recipe. He also makes all those people taste the milk tea and tells them how they will now make this milk tea powder inside the factory. So he just wants all the people to invest money in it. But some people here are not agreeing to invest. So Xiaolu tells them, "If you suffer any loss after the investment, I myself will pay all your money." Therefore, Bailan also supports Xiaolu and says, "I have full trust that our product will definitely move forward, and if that doesn't happen, I am also ready to pay for all the losses from my side." Hearing that, everyone trusts him and agrees to the deal, which makes Xiaolu and Bailan also very happy. The next day, Mr. Huang finds out that the factory has started running again, and Bailan is now calling the workers to work. Hearing this, Huang gets angry because he wanted to close the factory. He now goes to meet Director B because he had taken permission from the city commissioner to buy all the shares of the factory land. Issue, they could sell the factory by putting it in their name. Hearing this, Huang tells Director B, "Continue the work on," and Director B leaves from here. On the other side, Qinhuan asks Bailan what is going on between her and Xiaolu and that Bailan should listen to her heart, meaning she should accept Xiaolu once again. But hearing this, Bailan starts to smile and says, "I will listen to my heart later." Then Qinhuan invites her for Guang's birthday. Huang calls Guang and offers him that if he joins him, he can stop Xiaolu's company from being destroyed because Xiaolu had merged his company's shares with the food factory, and that food factory was going to be destroyed anyway, meaning both the food factory and his milk tea company would be gone from Xiaolu's hands. To which Guang replies here that he will not do anything that would hurt Xiaolu and the factory workers, but he thinks, "I did not want to let Xiaolu go to waste for Bailan like this." So he accepts Huang's deal here by saying, "I will cancel Xiaolu and Bailan's deal in any way, but in return, the part of the skating rink in the plaza being built in place of the food factory will have to be given to me, because I want to repay my debt to Jiang by giving it back to him." The next day, Guang calls all the partners to the milk factory and offers them that if they break the promise made with Xiaolu, he will give them 2 lakh yuan in return. And at the shopping plaza being built on the factory land, he will also get them a shop at a discount. But none of them agree to this deal because Xiaolu respected all of them a lot, and they also trusted him a lot. Seeing which, Guang doesn't understand anything. He throws the money brought in the suitcase at all of them and says, "Why are you not accepting the easily available money?" To which they leave from here saying, "For us, Xiaolu's words have more value than this money, and we will not terminate Xiaolu's contract either." He then calls Huang, but his driver picks up his phone and says Huang can't talk to him. So Guang starts taking out his anger on the driver. Qinhuan also hears all this while coming there with a birthday cake for him. Now she gets very angry that he is in league with Huang. So she leaves from here. She quickly reaches the factory and starts looking for the file that Huang had signed with Director B because she could stop the factory shares from being sold by finding this file. When she finds that document, she starts running with it. But as soon as Huang's driver comes to check, he tries to stop her. But Qinhuan is running in the rain. Just then, a factory statue breaks and falls on her, which injures her a lot, and she is screaming for help. But the driver sees her and does not help her. Then the factory workers hear her voice and come and take her to the hospital, and they are also donating blood for her. Seeing this, Guang is very shocked because his wife is in this condition because of him. Just then, the doctor comes out and tells them that Qinhuan is out of danger, but her lower body is permanently paralyzed because the statue fell directly on her legs. Hearing this, Guang is completely shocked. Then he apologizes to everyone in Xiaolu because he had betrayed them all. The next day, Xiaolu and Bailan are talking outside where Xiaolu asks her, "Will we really watch the food factory slowly die?" Along with this, he also says, "I had dreamed of growing old in the factory, and with me was you, still treating people inside the medical room. I wanted all this to never change, but this was all just my dream because we have lost to Huang, and now the factory is going to end soon." On the other side, in the meeting, Huang gives Director B a lot of money because their deal was complete and Huang was going to get the factory shares. Director B here also gives Huang a suggestion: you should give Qinhuan some compensation so that they don't go against you again. and we can see that Jiang was able to see all these things from the camera installed inside that room. He could record this meeting and create evidence against them. The next day, it is announced in the factory that no production is happening now, so they will hold a vote among all the workers. Why not give the factory to the Shanghai group that is Mr. Huang's company, which Bailan and Xiaolu also heard, and they start thinking that now surely all the workers will give up because that accident had happened with Qin Huan, and the factory was also in a huge loss. After which, Xiaolu goes to meet Jiang, where Jiang tells him, I am going on a trip very soon. So Xiaolu also tells him, go without any tension, to which Jiang tells him, whenever you are in trouble, I will surely come to help you. Hearing this, Xiaolu becomes very happy. Xiaolu comes to the skating rink looking for Guang, where Guang had drunk a lot. In a drunken state, he tells Xiaolu how good their friendship used to be. They were together without any fights, and Qin Huan was also such a good friend of theirs. But Guang ruined everything, and now he says, I want to die. Hearing that, Xiaolu gets very angry at him. He shouts at him a lot. If you love Qin Huan so much, you should be with her now and help her. Then he puts him in his car and takes him to the sea, where he tries to bring him to his senses by dunking him in the water, asking, do you really want to die, or do you want to help Qin Huan? At which Guang now comes to his senses, but he becomes very emotional because he had destroyed everything. Here we see that the doctor tells Bailan, we should discharge Qin Huan now, and if she needs special treatment, that is, artificial limbs, you will have to take compensation money from the factory so that you can get her further treatment. The doctor here also gives Bailan a suggestion. You should fight the leader for compensation and should not give up so easily. Xiaolu and Guang are sitting on the seashore, reminiscing about how they missed the entrance exam together. Then they spent the whole summer roaming on Guang's bicycle and started a business. They got their own car, but the one thing they didn't have was happiness. But Xiaolu reminds Guang of how Guang motivated him when he ran away from Shanghai and came back. At that time, he just wanted him to be motivated and start a new beginning in his life. On the other side, Bailan is also giving therapy to Qin Huan. She motivates her that if she tries, she will definitely be able to walk again and there will be movement in her legs. Hearing this, Qin Huan gets frustrated and starts crying. So Bailan just explains this to her and comes out saying, I am your doctor and I will try my best to get you well soon. Huang is trying to leave Fuking because the truth about Director B has come out to everyone that he had illegally tried to sell the factory shares and was involved in many crimes. So he is arrested. Now it is Huang's turn because he was also involved in all these things. The gangster's boss does not let him leave Fuking so easily because Huang had also involved him in crimes and had not paid him. So the boss kidnaps Bailan to blackmail Huang and get money. But Huang is now only concerned about himself, so he sets out to run away from Fuking. But the boss has Bailan, whom he is taking to an old building. Guang sees him because he wanted to take revenge for Qin Huan's condition and had been looking for him for 2 days. Seeing this, Guang directly calls Xiaolu and tells him that the boss has kidnapped Bailan. On the other side, Xiaolu is helping Jiang with his packing. Both are happy, but as soon as Xiaolu finds out about Bailan's kidnapping, he doesn't tell Jiang anything and makes an excuse to go find Bailan. But Jiang understands that Xiaolu is definitely in some trouble. Boss Hu has tied up Bailan. Bailan tells him Huang will not come here. The boss says, if Huang does not come, I can take my revenge on Xiaolu because Xiaolu will definitely come to save you. Xiaolu arrives there with Guang. He tells Boss Hu, let's settle the matter peacefully. But the boss is very angry because he did not get the payment because of Xiaolu. So he tells Xiaolu, give me all the money, which Xiaolu agrees to do. Just then, Guang attacks and a fight starts among everyone. Just then, Jiang arrives there and tells Boss Hu, let everyone go? Boss Hu tells Jiang, if I let Xiaolu, Guang, and Bailan go in return, you will have to cut your finger with a knife. Jiang gets close to him and starts fighting with him. Then Jiang gets badly injured. When Xiaolu is fighting, the boss is about to hit him with a knife, but Jiang comes in between. Xiaolu is saved, but Jiang gets stabbed. The police arrive because Jiang had already informed them. Then Jiang leaves from there, but on the way, he falls due to blood loss, and he dies right there. Then, a few days later, there is voting in the factory. A government notice comes that even after the factory closes, the workers will get compensation and investment money. Xiaolu says that he will expand his business and create chain stores, and will hire factory workers. Bailan says that she will go back abroad and study again and start a new beginning. Before parting, they both go to the same restaurant for their last meal where they had first decided to go to Shanghai. The chef makes the dish and tells them that once a year a customer comes who eats this dish. Xiaolu is surprised. Then they both separate. The waitress gives Xiaolu a letter which belongs to Bailan, in which it was written, "I used to wait for you in this restaurant on your birthday." Reading this, Xiaolu becomes emotional and runs after Bailan. They both kiss. Then a scene from a year later comes. Xiaolu reminds Bailan that the day they met was the best day of his life. In the final scene, Xiaolu is on a train, and it was all a dream. He is in the 90s and has seen the future with Bailan in a dream. He decides, now, I will not make such mistakes, and I will try my best to fulfill my dreams. And with this, the drama ends.